All right, let's get started. Oh, there we go, right screen. How's everyone doing? Hopefully you're doing well. Welcome. Just making sure all my video feed is feeding back. It is. All right, cool. I hope everyone's going well. Let's jump back into what we're doing. We wanted to have a look at all the bugs and stuff like that. So we're going to try and fix some more bugs. I'm just thinking if we want to fill out some more data into the fixtures, which might be fun. Hey, Socks, you came back. All right. And Socks is here. She heard I started streaming and she came running back because she wants treats. All right. So currently at the moment, we've only got 9 issues for the 031. We'll find more, don't worry. What will actually happen is I'll do a thorough site shakeout and do a really good in-depth test to make sure everything's working. And also have a look in the code where I could potentially fix things up. Remembering that we are going to refactor a bit of it. So yeah, I'm just thinking, what do we... I do kind of want to get the GDPR wizard out the door, the unit test for that out the door. I do want to fix that up. So I'm thinking maybe we jump into that, jump into Python, get all that sort of set up, which shouldn't take us too long to, famous last words, too long to do. We do need to, and Mohammed, how are you going? Hopefully you're going well. I'm trying to remember how I set up the fixtures because I was editing a MySQL database. Yeah, and I just connected everything to it, and I've probably already forgotten all the credentials. He's fine, he just wants to stay in the room, Socks. We've also got Patty, the other cat in here. Socks doesn't like him, but he's friendly. He's like, sup? Hey, Patty. You're good? Oh, that's good to hear. We're just deciding what to do. Maybe more GDPR wizard stuff. Or we could quickly fix a few of these other ones. We do have a couple of major issues at the moment. So the GDPR wizard, we need to actually get all that data in there to start writing the unit tests. So that way we've got the unit tests to make sure that we're not breaking anything in the system, which will be good. We've also got sorry, the partially 2FA fails to disable. So yeah, I'm probably actually, with the 2FA stuff, what I'll probably do is I'll probably set up a empty Django instance, get the 2FA in there, and I'll probably test to see if they've got the same issue. Because if they've got the same issue, then they might have either a workaround or no one just knows that that is an issue and it would be a bug request. And how are you, Nocturnal? Hopefully you're going well. I'm just thinking what I should do tonight. I literally just finished work less than half an hour ago, so I haven't actually planned anything at all. So yeah, you okay there, Socks? Just headbutting the mic. You okay? Oh, that's good to hear. Yeah, I can't complain at all. I've also got to do some of my exercises today. I've got bends in the box there. You'll probably see me tie them up to something and start doing them when I'm just discussing something. We've also got a couple of easy bugs to fix, but I don't want to tackle the easy bugs yet. I'm probably going to... Because this will take me a while to set up the 2FA stuff, I'm going to jump onto the GDPR stuff. I just got to remember the passwords. And I've got to turn on my tower. Damn it. All right. Because I don't think I have the... No, I think I've got the database locally. Hang on. NearBeach Docker test. I think it uses that MySQL. I'm just going to hit play with that one too. Actually, no, I didn't want to hit play with that one. I'm going to hit stop with that one. Yeah, rehab for the shoulder. So essentially I'm doing... hang on. I'll put it on the big screen. Oh, can I? Oh, yeah, you can. So essentially I'm doing... Pretend the band's going there, I'm doing that. And then pretend the band's going that way, I'll be doing that. There's other ones too where I've got the band out and I'm shrugging. I've got to also get my broom and sort of lift my arm on the back. I've got to do push-ups, but you guys don't need to see that because it'll look like I'm insane. I'll be like facing in a different direction, be like, hey. I've got the lap bands, I've got that. I know there's something else I'm missing, and usually I bring this up on my phone. So yeah, I've got other stuff too. So yeah, a bit of road recovery stuff, just strengthening up quite a lot of the area up there at the moment. But yeah, no, the shoulder's coming along really well. And for those wondering what's in my shoulder, I have one of these. I'll get that out of the way. This is called a hook plate. So essentially it's forcing my AC joint bones together and stuff like that. So yeah. Someone else said it looks like a lizard, which I do agree. It does kind of look like a lizard. And then someone was like, you know what, this is what I see. And they gave that photo and I was like, you know what, that's just too hilarious. So, yeah. So that's what I got in me for, I don't know how many months, I think up to 12, I want to say. Yeah, I forgot how many months. Surgeon will tell me eventually. They'll call me up and be like, we've got to take that thing out. And I'll be like, oh yeah. Alright, so dealing with this, I think it was localhost 8080. Yes, alright, cool. And then we just log in. No, alright. I've forgotten all my passwords and stuff like that. Not a problem. We'll actually find them. Yeah, so it's going to come out. So this is the second time I've had the hook plate in. So this time's a bit different. I have a hook plate in and a bit of my hamstring. So on my leg, it's going to be like one of those things where you got to spot it very quickly because I can't lift up my leg that high. On my leg, you'll notice a lovely scar. Yeah, that's the entry point, the donor point. So they went in through there. I don't know how they got behind the kneecap, but they took some of my hamstring there, and that's what's around in my shoulder. And Bachi, or Batchip, I should say. Welcome back. How are you going? Hopefully you're going well. We also have Socks, who's trying to jump up and say hello. So, yep, there you go. There you go. They saw you, sweetie. Don't you worry. You'll get treats in a second. I know you're getting excited. Cheers. Thank you very much. She has been misbehaving. You're fine? Oh, that's good to hear that you're fine. Yeah, I can't complain either. Just very busy at the moment. Yeah, it's hectic. I'm hoping the next couple of days ease up at work. Alright, so we want NearBeach. We don't want this. We want Docker Compose scripts. And yes, treats were mentioned. Yes. Alright, Socks. Okay, let's do the camera first. Alright, you know what this means, Socks. You know what this means. Alright, in your bed. In your bed. In your bed. No, that's the wrong way. In your bed. In your bed. Don't just get in your bed and then back out. In your bed. Right, there we go. Yes, streets were mentioned. There you go. She's been a bit naughty lately. She woke me up last night, like multiple times. And then she goes through probably an hour or two of just meowing, running around the house, and I don't know why. She's just constantly wants love. And I'm like, but I give you love, Socks. And she's like, no, I want you to give me love over here on the roof. So yeah, just cat things, yeah. So, love her to bits, but yeah, sometimes she gets annoying. Alright, let's have a look in here. So, we've got the MySQL stuff in here. If we go, let's just Vim, not Vom. Alright, so here we are with all of this. MSLQ root, super secret password. Did that not work? Oh. Is that not working? Did I? Yep, it's still in there. Super secret password. No. Alright, it might not be that account. Let's go back over here. I'm just gonna stop that one. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back over here. We're going to open up the terminal. We're going to escape out of it. Mocha likes to get stroked on the move. Fair enough. Also likes to lay over the back of the desk chair while sitting on the back of my neck. Oh. Socks has been shoulder deprived for the last 8 weeks, or just under 8 weeks. So she has been, now she's allowed back on my shoulder, she has been sort of helping herself up there. So I'll be doing something by my desk. She'll walk up to me and then she'll slowly just, you know, get on my shoulder. Because previously she couldn't get up there because it would just hurt and I would scream out in pain. Alright, this one doesn't have... Oh no, doesn't have the PHP MyAdmin, Networks, MySQL, PHP admin, yep. So I'm just not running it. Sudo docker compose up. And I'm going to detach it. I think it's lowercase d now. Version, oh yeah, I could get rid of the Mocha is like that. I can't sit down on the without him on the shoulder. Yep, fair enough. So yeah, the joys of pets. You gotta love them. All right, so this is just pulling. Get back to it, but yeah, the idea here is we want to implement all of these. Now, whilst that's actually running, what I will do is over on this terminal, I will go into the sites, I will go ls, or I'll put it in this format so I can read it quickly. 2FA testing. Ooh. Maybe I've already got an environment set up for 2FA testing. And then I can just use that. All right, cool. I've got to, I keep saying this every single week, there's a couple of things I want to do with the stream. One, I want to change the music because I've been listening to the soundtrack for way too long. And Emerson, how are you going? Hopefully you're going well. And the second thing I want to do is, I've just suddenly forgot what the second thing I wanted to do. Not sure. Alright, that was the music. Oh, and fix the monitors so I can easily slide in the camera. Alright, so in here we've got Minio, we've got MySQL example. Do we have the NearBeach seed? So cd NearBeach seed. Alright, here we are. If we do this. Do we have a source? Yes, we do. We've got a VM bin activate, and then edge. I keep forgetting where to put the Y. If anyone wants to know why I hit tab for that, it's because I forget if it's JY or JU. Everything's fine, working and playing. Oh, nice, that's good to hear. We are most likely going to start doing more faker stuff. So start putting in more data into our fixtures and stuff like that. So yeah, I've just got to get the Docker container up and running. I've got to change all the passwords. I've got to set the local environment to point at it and all that kind of fun stuff. All right, let's see if it's up and running. Nope, that's print screenshot. It is. We can log in. Perfect. Easy done. We have just MySQL in here. We don't have NearBeach in here. All right, let's have a look at home. Let's have a look at user accounts. We don't have a NearBeach session in here, but we can easily put one in very, very quickly. Add user account. What we'll do is we'll just call it user NearBeach. We're going to use the NearBeach as a super password. Actually, yeah, let's just regenerate. Good enough. Create database with the same name, grant all privileges. All right, yep, we don't need the wildcard this particular user. We're just going to go. We're definitely not going to save that. We're going to minimize that. We're going to open up NearBeach. So this is now empty. This is perfect. What we're going to do is on our local environment. So I'm going to open up the project. I'm also going to open up the terminal here, and I'm just going to go git status for starters. All right, git pull. Shouldn't be anything. We did a release. Git branch. Cool. What we want to do is we want to change our local settings. So even though they're a pain in the even though this is local and stuff like that, we can change the database settings. So databases. Now I need to remember, Django database. We're doing MySQL. Easy done. I can never get this options read file and all that kind of stuff working. I'm just going to key it in directly and be very naughty. It's just... I just can't get it done. All right, so we've got default engine, and then if I go GitHub, NearBeach, Docker, I think we've got the. No, it's not in there. Sorry, it's a part of the Ocean Suite settings. I don't know what I just did. All right, so we're just going to grab these settings. Actually, we're going to grab all of them. We're just going to paste them over like that. That's easy done. The host will be 127.0.0.1, I do believe. And that's got to be in a string. The port will be 3306. The database name will be NearBeach. Database user will be NearBeach. and the database password. And don't worry that you guys know this is just on my local. This doesn't boot up and stuff like that. We do this all the time. I do believe it's going to be that. So to test this, I'm just going to hit that. Django backends none is available. Download couldn't be imported. Check it out. Oh yeah. Oops. Forgot to do the engine. I thought it. Oh yeah, I did. Yep. Go with that. All right, it boots up. That's great. That's all we need for the moment. What I'm going to do over here, we're going to do this. We're going to go source VM bin activate. We want to go Python 3 manage, and we're going to migrate all our data. It's just the database sort of schema. There's a couple of inits in there and all that kind of fun stuff. It doesn't take us too long to do. As you see, there's quite a lot of NearBeach stuff, a lot of Nox stuff, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. This is just setting up all the tables. The next thing is we're going to fill it out with data. So we want to go Python 3 and manage, load data, and that's from our fixtures. We're going to use the GDPR setup because we're going to build upon this. Easy done. Next step I should also do, because I keep forgetting, Minio is running. Perfect. So if we hit run now, and we go over here and we go into localhost 8000, we can log in and we should be able to use the admin password to get in. Easy done. And as you see, it's filled out all of this data, which is great. We do actually have a ticket for making this pagination and stuff like that. However, we are going to redesign the dashboard because it's rather lacklusting and stuff like that, and we kind of want to bring in stuff. Yes, we're using Faker. So all of this data that's in here at the moment, that was done using Faker, and I've got a couple of scripts in here that just add stuff in and so forth like that. We've also got other things where I've started assigning groups and so forth like that, where I've the reason why it's done like this is because I think it did something and I was like, all right, copy and paste. Yeah, so we've used a lot of Faker. Now moving forward, oh yes, because everything, I closed all of this, that's why that is. So change task blocks, we'll definitely be using Faker for that. So we'll be adding in times and dates and all that kind of stuff. For the change tasks, we will be, sorry, the change tasks will be using Faker. The change task blocks, we won't be using Faker. We'll be using that as a random sort of thing. We'll be adding them in here and there. The customers, didn't we do the customers? Oh, that's a bit silly of me. Let's go find object, list, not organizations, list custom, I misclicked. Oh no, we did customers. All right, document permissions will be using Faker for the names and URLs and stuff like that for that. As for the documents themselves, they won't exist. And that's perfectly fine, because if someone goes to that link, it's not meant to go anywhere. It's just testing the GDPR sort of stuff to make sure that when we are removing the user, it doesn't actually delete them, delete their records. It just switches the change user and the created user over to the current admin, or the person who's implementing the change. I'll say lurking for the moment. Oh yeah, that's perfectly fine. Yeah, I do love my lurkers. So yes, welcome lurkers. Same with the documentation. We'll be using Faker for the documentation. So with the folders, and that's just to create names and so forth like that. We won't be creating too much data around this, but we'll create some data. It's also good to see what actually happens when there's a large amount of data in the system. But we won't be doing ridiculous amounts. We won't be doing the million rows, which I do actually have. I have a database with, I don't think it's 1 million rows. I think it's 100,000 rows. And Socks is impressed too. She's like, that is impressive. All right. Oh, did you want them to go? There it goes, sweetie. The public links, that's automatically generated anyway. We won't need fake for that, but we'll generate that in the system itself, because that's just pointing at an object and creating a GUID. Request for change, we'll need fake for that to insert data. Scheduled objects, yep, we'll need fake for that. Sprint audit tables. Oh, I forgot what that table is for. And sprint object assignment and the sprint sort of stuff. Not really, because a lot of that data is sort of connecting everything together. We will probably use... Yeah, we'll probably won't use Faker for that. Tag assignment, we'll probably use... Yeah, we'll probably use Faker for the tags. Because once again, I want to actually create a fair amount of data to see what happens if people start using the system, and that data builds up quite a bit. And so at the moment, the tags are a simple sort of system. Give me a couple of seconds, I'll actually show you what's in my production. List tags. All right, workstation. So this is my tag list currently at the moment. This, yeah, I do need to go through and sort of make it a better UI and UX. But however, that's it. And over time, these might grow. I might have 0.33 and stuff like that. What happens if I want to archive tags? So they still appear in the system. However, you can't choose them if you remove them from, yeah, all that kind of fun stuff. So, yeah. I'm going to close production because that is actually production. For each object, we'll need to assign the deleted user to the following fields: created user and the changed user. Yeah, and the idea is, in all of those tables, when we actually do the GDPR for the user, it doesn't delete the user from any of them. Oh, sorry. It switches the user to the current logged in user. So that way, when the user gets deleted, it doesn't cascade, because at the moment there's a cascade sort of thing. If you delete a user, it'll delete everything that's attached to that user. So we don't want that, and we're going to review that when we do 0.32. Might be a case that we go, no, that's not what we want anymore. We'd rather have it just an empty field. So yeah. All right. So what I'm going to do, so I'm going to start from the top. Oh no, I can't start from the top because I actually need a request for change before I can actually do the change task. So the change tasks are a child item of request for change. So you build up a request for change, and then the change tasks are the specific items you're actually changing, or the steps you're doing for that request for change. So we go into here, we go, let's say new request, we'll have like title, we'll have summary, we'll also have details and all that kind of stuff. So we'll fill that out now. So we also want this to be a number of users doing this. So this is the deleted user. Oh, sorry. And what I'll do Right, I'm just having a quick think how I can do this easily. We might as well close this. We'll open up this. We'll close this. We don't need that open anymore. So we're in here. What I want to do is I want to close that. I want to close that. I want to... It's essentially going to be like this. Now, there's our customer list. So we've got an ID, and then we've got a customer. You know, we had a reason, get random customer list as we do all of that. Yeah, that's the, all right, yep. And then we key in an organization ID and we get the customer out and stuff like that. We won't need that for request for change. In fact, let's jump into the back end. So request for change will have these particular fields. So it's got a title, it's got a summary. We'll use fake to fill both of them out. It's got the RFC type. So that can just be random, random value in there. We've got the implementation start date and end date. We'll actually have that as a solidified time date. We won't make those random. Implementation date, yeah, that will be a solidified date. We'll be like, all right, cool, this is going to be the date that we're going to key in. The RFC version number, that could be filled in with faker. I'm just wondering, Python faker. I just want the documentation. Let's see. Yep. I just want to see if they can do fake versions. Probably not. Oh, sorry. Yeah, we're not too fussed about that because we're actually creating a fixture, but no, it doesn't look like we can create sort of versions. But I mean, if we're following the stock standard sort of thing, what we can just generate 3 random numbers, shove them together, and be like, all right, cool, that's a version. It doesn't need to make too much sense. All right, the next thing that we've got to do, RFC status, that's going to be randomly. I'm going to put them all on draft, and the reason being is we're not testing at which point this is. What we're doing is we're testing to see if we delete a user, it won't delete any RFCs and change tasks and stuff like that. So it's okay to actually have the RFC status on just a set sort of draft. Then again, the idea being is if we can do this, but every change task has to reflect the same RFC status. So what happens in the system is if you update the RFC status, it'll update all the the statuses for the change tasks to that status. So if everything's in draft, it'll be in draft. If it's jumped to waiting for approval, all of them become waiting for approval, and so forth like that. However, once it's approved, they all go to approve, and this is where the differences start actually happening. When you start the request for change, it doesn't automatically start the change tasks because you've got to manually start them. The idea with that is eventually there'll be a little dashboard widget that you can pop up and be like, all right, cool, this is started, and you can see all of the items in there and where they're at. Because they'll be all at a different state. And yeah, and then if everything's finished, it goes to finish. Ready for QA is not actually a status. The request for changes that actually have and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I'm just going to set these all to draft. We will be building up the RFCs. We'll be adding a few more of them into the other fixture. The reason being is there's a couple of things I want to test. And we've hit an add. Cool. So yeah, in this particular fixture that we're doing, I think having everything set to draft is just going to be perfectly fine. We're not testing anything else than that delete functionality. So yeah, we won't need any of that. Oop. All right. How's everyone going? Hopefully everyone's going well tonight. So yeah, I'm just gonna hopefully hit the wall tonight and go to sleep. So yeah. Honestly curious, what's the project doing? You've been working on it for a year. I've been working on it for a little bit more than a year. When you say project management system, you mean something like Git or GitHub? No. All right, so Git and GitHub is... so Git is source management, so how you would sort of manage your source, and GitHub is where you would host it. Another one would be GitLab. An alternative to Git would be Mercury 2, where you do your version controlling and stuff like that, and that can also be hosted, I think, still on GitHub and Bitbucket. So a project management system is very similar to like your Trellos, your Jiras, and so forth like that. So what you do is you gather user requirements, you break them down into requirement items, you then, or user stories, you then would create, and welcome back everyone on Twitch, you would create sort of projects and tasks or a Kanban board to sort of track each individual sort of task or that you need to do for it. So yeah. Yeah, so Git is version control. An alternative would be Mercurial. I'm pronouncing that wrong. I don't use Mercurial, but I know people who do. And yeah, you've got GitHub that will like host the source code, but you've got other alternatives like Bitbucket and GitLab. So yeah. Where am I living? Melbourne. In Australia. So yeah, if you can't tell by the accent, I do get that is a very strong Australian accent. So yeah. Anyway, I will quickly show what NearBeach does, just so you understand a little bit more. You can gather basic organization, customer details and stuff like that. I'm not going to build anything in this, just because this is a fixture that I'm going to put, store again. But yeah, you can move, this is a Kanban board functionality, so you can create little tasks and stuff like that on here. Don't bother reading any of these. This is a fixture, so I put in random fake data into here and a lot of it, and this is just for testing purposes. So I get it, like Jira, that's impressive, but how's the project different or better than all of those other services? What problem does it solve? I ask questions since I've just started out. Oh, all good. So NearBeach works different to everywhere else in the sense of how you assign tasks. Instead of assigning it just to one person or one team, it can actually be assigned across multiple different teams and to multiple different people at the same time. The idea being there is a lot of times when you're doing these projects, you will involve people from other teams to help out. So you might have backend team, front-end team, system admin team, and so forth like that, and you need to coordinate with all of them. So instead of being all sort of separated out and having to send tickets and emails and stuff like that, you can all share the same Kanban board, or you can all share the same task or project. It also has a request for change system. So when you're ready to deploy, you can write in, if you've ever done, I don't know if you've done requests for changes. So request for changes essentially like instructions on what you're going to do, what the risk is, what the backout plan is, when you actually have to back out, how you're going to implement it, and each single individual task who's responsible for it, and what exact time they're going to start and finish it. So yeah, depends where you are nowadays. Depends whether or not you do a request for change. A lot of requests for changes have been sort of superseded by continuous integration, continuous development, so CI/CD pipeline. Also, you can go fix things in NearBeach because it's open source. Ah, yes, yeah. So if there's any bugs or issues, you can fix it. You can also submit to it too. So if you have an idea, yeah, you can easily program into it. We are headed towards opening it up in the sense that we want people to be able to create plugins for it. So yeah, that will hopefully happen in 0.32. So yeah. And yeah, I'm also streaming on Twitch. So Nocturnal on Twitch said I wanted events, so I added them. So yeah. All right, jumping back into this. The lead, we can pick a random lead. That's perfectly fine. The priority, we can pick random ones. The random, faker, random, and random. All right, cool. So those are all the fields that we need to do for this. I'm just wondering how many RFCs should we create. I think maximum 100. We won't need that many. All right. So jumping over here, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to be lazy. I'm going to copy this. I'm going to paste it. I'm going to rename it. This will be, oh, come on. Rename. This will be called RFC Creations. Easy done. Simple name. The reason why I've done that is we've got a lot of this already set up, so this is all good. This is all good. We'll probably knock that down because we don't need that many. Group list. I'm probably... I can delete all of that. That's all fine. That's all the signing customers and stuff like that. We don't need to do that in this one. So that will be deleted. That will be deleted. Task list. That'll be deleted. Insert customers against requirement. No, won't need that. Won't need that. Won't need that. So I'm just wondering with this, because with an RFC you can assign a group to it. So either like, for example, admin and multiple groups. You can assign one to all the groups if you want. And that's the username and password. All right, I need to change that. So yeah, that's perfectly fine. Can you import NearBeach instead of using Pi? I have not tried that. Thank you, Nocturnal. I'll bring that down. All right, I'll go. Thanks for entering code. Anyway, thank you very much, Rami. I hope to see you again. All right, compatibility starting from version 4. Faker. That's right. I'll do this so everyone can read this. I'll also zoom in just a little bit so everyone can read it. I did not know that. It means that I've set up the Docker and all that kind of stuff for. I want to say no raisins. But that's not a problem. Okay, so starting from 4, Faker dropped support for Python 2. Yep. Oh wait, we want factory. Wrong one. Using factory boy with RRMs, Django. So The module also supports that model syntax. Yada yada yada. All right, cool, cool, cool. We want Django. Django create username, John. All right, cool. Create a new user, fetches a new user, and stuff like that. Okay. So I've got a. Yeah, I just don't want to. There's no offense. I just don't want to learn all this at the moment. So yeah. Whereas I'm just inserting it using SQL. And then quickly testing. All right, factory. So, the first one was designed specifically for Django, but the library has now evolved to be framework independent. Most features just feel, yep, all right, sweet. So, dedicated, yep. Essentially, you got the user factory, Django factory class meta, myapp.user, Django get or create, and then you got the user. All right, cool. But what about custom field stuff? Alright, my factory, my models, factory, field name, file.dat. Alright, yeah. Just thought it might be useful for the future. Yeah. You can give it a model and tell what fields are in it. Yeah. I just think at the moment, it would probably take me half an hour just to set it up. Whereas I could go running with this right now. Alright, I'm gonna probably limit this down to just those groups. Actually, no, I'm going to have a quick look at the groups. Let's have a look at the back end. So we want to go in here, we want to go groups. We want the admin, dev, and QA team. So we've got 3, 2, and 1. All right, cool. So I'm just going to add 3, 2, 1, or 1, 2, 3 to all of them. So we'll limit it down to that, which just means I'm getting rid of all of that. All right. So, up here, what we want to do is we want to. I'm just going to put some numbers up here. We're going to go RFC count. We're going to do, actually, how did we? Yeah, we did that like that. All right, cool. RFC count equals, we'll do 100. Change task min is probably going to be, let's say 3. Change task max, let's say 25. Let's make a lot. All right, so that should be all done. We just need to now update this. So we know the user is just going to be NearBeach. I now remember that we did this with the other stuff. That's fine. The password is actually going to be test $1, $2, $3, $4. Is it a capital T? Yes. The database is going to be NearBeach. And we're all happy with that. So that's all set up now. I'm just going to go over to NearBeach Faker because this is where we actually do the connection. Oh, we did the connection. Oh, no, just wait. We did the connection there. And then we do it like something like this. So I'm just going to copy that code. We're going to paste it in. We're going to go through and be like, all right, these are the fields. This is what I need it to be like, and so forth like that. So in here, we've got a connection with the cursor, loop through, and then what we want to do is we want to do RFC count in there. We'll do request for change in here. And I'll zoom in so everyone can see. I will minimize that so you guys can see. There we go. Hopefully this is readable. I'll zoom in just a little bit more. So we've got the connection. With the connection cursor, we loop through in range, and then we create the fields. So I'll do the fields in here. Then we do the SQL statement, and then we execute it with the fields coming through, and we'll be happy with that. So if we were to do this, let's jump into, give me 2 seconds. This will be localhost 8080. We'll log back in. We'll go into NearBeach, and then if we do contain the word, this would be request for change in here. These are all the titles and stuff like that. So I'm being lazy today. I'm just copying them. And what we're going to do is we're going to go SQL insert into NearBeach request for change. We just paste them in. We will do this properly in a second, and then we go values, and then we do that, and then we do that, and then we do that. Once again, we'll do this very, very quickly. I'm also going to paste the values down here, and we'll start doing something like this. All right, cool. So we won't need these ones anymore. That's perfectly fine. The ID we won't need, so I'm getting rid of that. The title we will need, so we'll go fake.name, easy done. Summary is fake. Now this won't be, this is where I've got to look up this. That's for the customer. Fake.text. All right, we'll do fake.text also here. Like so. I don't believe we're limiting that down. No, we're not. All right, cool. We've got fake. Now the RFC type. So we go into here. We've got an RFC type. We'll do a random one in there. I do believe we just do yeah, we do just a random sort of implementation. So we'll just do that. However, it'll be 1, 2, 4. Or it might be 0 to 3. When you say the name in the text, right, I was just going to have it so it's like this. So each title, I'm fine with having a really, really long title for no apparent reason, so that's why I'm using .text. It'll fit in there perfectly fine. All right, I've just got to remember RFC type. All right. All right, wrong. I think this will be RFC. Like that. All right. And the choices are that. Yeah, it's wonderful. All right, cool. I just needed to check that. Yeah, but check it gets masked out properly. What do you mean by masked? persona thing, isn't it? Oh, yes. Yeah. Yeah, it will. Yeah. Yeah, so once I set up all of this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to individual objects and put in the users and record them somewhere. So when I write the unit tests, I'm going to be like, all right, cool, the title for this one should change to something else. So yeah, I'm going to be doing that. But that will be more of a manual process. So yeah. Going with this, we've got that implementation start date. I'm going to declare the dates up here. So actually, no, I just need to. I think I just need, let's say, 2025 06 30 T. Oh, Python dates. How are you done? So the one problem with using a couple of different languages, at the end of the day, sometimes you get confused how each language handles date times. I got it eventually. So if I go a equals date. Oh, datetime dot string p time. All right. Yeah. So if I do have I spelled that wrong? strp. strp time. One argument given. All right. Datetime in format. All right. Yeah. All right. And then that should be. All right. Yep. So going over here, we then want to do, and then let's say 10 a.m. We want to go percentage year. Okay, percentage year, percentage month, percentage day, and then percentage hour, and then percentage minute. Nah, broken stuff. Alright, H is the bad directive. Oh, big M. Alright, So oh. Alright, cool. I'm just going to copy that. You can tell I hardly do this in Python. what I'm going to do here is I'm going to, and then I just realized I don't need any of that because I'm putting this straight into SQL. How have I done this? I've just done now everywhere else. It's not what I want. All right, no problem. I can just grab one of these. That's perfectly fine. Because I'm inserting SQL, I don't need to do copy paste. Come on, copy. So I'm inserting directly into MySQL. I don't need to do anything crazy. So we can just do something like this, where the implementation date is essentially the day before, and the end date is like that. So we just copy that, and then we just go like that. That way we've got a range, and then with this we can go, all right, 10:30. Easy done. The version number, we can just go with our little F strings in here. We can do something like this pretty easily. So we can go random.rand int. Let's go somewhere between 0 to, let's say, 25. I think that's a good sort of randomness. Let's do random.rand int from 0 to, let's say, 100. And random.rand int, let's say 0 to, let's say, 2000. A release date before end date implementation. No, it goes end date for the RFC, and then the release is usually dead on that dot, or it's slightly after, because that usually states that you've released it and you've contacted the clients. So the tasks should be done in between the start and end, and then you've got the release date, which happens either dead on the end date or slightly after. It's a weird process. You have it the day before, like the implementation release date, or the end date. All right, that one's done. For the priority, yeah, it's just 1 to 5. Equals rand int 1 to 5. Easy done. No one's going to complain about that. Hang on. 8889. Oh, I have got that around the wrong way. Yes, touche. Sorry, that's my bad. I thought I applied the 09 to the release date. Yep. No, I'm silly. There we go. Yep. Cool. I thought I applied the 09. I didn't. Anyway, thank you, Nocturnal. The risk random is rand int. Actually, just wait, the risk. Let's double check that one particular field. So we've got all that. The risk itself. Oh, that would be 1 to 4. That's 1 to 4. That's going to be 1 to 5. The impact random.rand int, I think, is going to be 1 to 3. And then the impact, we're just going to go fake.text, fake.text, backout plan, fake.text, test plan, fake.text, date created, that's going to be today, date modified, that's just going to be that today, that's going to be 0, change user ID is going to be that, actually, sorry, change user ID, those are going to be the random ones. So rand .rand int. Now that's going to be, I am creating a faker script to insert data very quickly. And what it does is it just loops through and inserts it using SQL. We will have a look at it. Ooh, I break. We'll have a look at it in the portal itself to see if it works or not, and then what we'll do is, if we're happy, we commit it to the fixture. If we want to rerun it again or tweak it, what we can do is we can drop the whole database, rebuild the database, and populate it again and just rerun it with any fixes. So yeah, the end goal of this is to have enough data in the system for testing a specific functionality in NearBeach, which does not require us having... It requires us having a bit of data in there, but also at the same time, it doesn't necessarily need to be somewhat legitimate. We can get away with having the title be someone's name and stuff like that, and so forth like that. So fake is good for this particular case. So yeah. And we're going to do this over a number of tables too. Faker won't be used for everything, but yeah, we'll do this quickly. So change user ID. Now we're going to do this as a random number of IDs. So if we go into the user, we've got the admin. I think the deleted users are the highest one. So we've got 6 and 1. Yeah, 6 and 1. So 1 to 6. Easy done. We're going to do the same thing with this. 1 to 6. Easy done. The lead is also going to be the same thing. And the status will all be draft. My English isn't the best, which makes it even more difficult, but I'm working on it. That's okay. Feel free to ask questions if something doesn't make sense. That's perfectly fine. Is there an SQL constraint for that? I don't know. I'm gonna say maybe. I don't know. SQL status, we're going to use the draft one. So RFC status. I've just got to find out where it's been declared. That's part of the forms. I'm just going to go straight to that model. I think it's Command D. No, it's not. That's why I pressed Command B today. It's Command D to do that on Mac, but Control B to do that on Linux. So, going down here, RFC status. Now, this is, I'm going to use the shortcut. I'm going to be like, boom. All right. Oh. I want to actually go to this. So we want that as a 1. Easy done. Oh, shoot. Yes, thank you very much. Sorry about that, everyone. Yeah, thank you very much, Emerson. Yeah, that happens a couple of times. I do forget to turn off the ad screen. All right. So we've got all of that set up. What we now need to do is we're going to get rid of these particular fields as we don't need them. We've set everything up to do what we want. We're going to get rid of that because we don't need it. So insert into NearBeach. We won't need an RFC. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this. And then we're going to match everything up like this. So yeah, I'm just laying everything out like this. So title will need summary, type, implementation, all that kind of stuff in here. And then what we want to do is, if memory serves me correctly, we just do, yeah, that. So with title, we've got that. Summary, we've got that. Type, we've got that. Start, end, release, we've got that. Version number, we have. Priority, we have. Risk of impact analysis, impact, implementation plan, backout plan, RFC plan. Date created, now. Date modified, now. Is deleted, 0. Change user ID, bang. Creation user, bang. RFC lead, bang, and bang. And we won't need the last one. And then we just need to key in all those details in here. So a quick, easy way of doing that is to quite literally grab all of this, paste it in there. I think I do it with the hold on, I had it yeah, it's just like that. And what I need to do is set, backup plan, yet set, not set, not set, not set. Set. And that should be it. And it's saying the records have been inserted successfully, which is great news. So what we're going to do is we're going to jump into here. We're going to find the objects. We can see now we've got requests for change being filled out up here. So yeah, we've got about 100 of them. I think we'll... Oh, that's requirement information. No. All right. Oh no, I've got to actually assign the groups now. So that's going to be really, really simple to do. We're just going to assign everything in there. That should be a quick and easy select statement. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to copy this. I'm going to paste it. I'm using the Mac shortcut keys. Oh no. I'm going to copy this, going to paste this in. Then we just need, we're not looping through anything. What we're doing is actually, I want to where's this? All right, request for change. Because we're going to add 3 groups to all of these. Those 3 groups to all of these. We could loop through them all very, very quickly. That would be very easy to do. And then we just go, because it's part of the object assignment. Oh, it might not be. Oh. Give me a second. Request for change. Because there's groups and users. So I'm racking my brain. I'm pretty sure it's still this object assignment. Just double check. Yeah, it is object assignment. All right, that lovely table. So going in here, what we want to do is we want to assign these very, very quickly. All right. So I'm just going to open up a simple SQL, get a request for change where it's something like that. Actually, before I do, object assignment. So I'll need date created, date modified, is deleted. No change user in here? Change user ID. All right, cool. So it will be insert into NearBeach object assignment values. Yeah, it was date created, date modified, deleted. So date created, date modified, is deleted, and then change user ID, and we don't have a created user. All right, cool. And it won't be values, it'll be something like that. And then what we want to do is we also want the group ID and the request for change ID. And then we want the values. So we won't need any of that. What I'll do is I'll comment that out for the moment, and then I'll go select, I'll go now, and then we'll do another now. And then we'll do a 0, and then we'll do a, ooh, can we do a random in here? SQL random int. MySQL random int. Otherwise, I'll move this to the, actually, it's going to be easier in Python. All right, not a problem. What I'll do, $S. Okay, but for the moment, because we don't need that value showing. I just need to make sure everything else will do. Then we'll do the group ID. So the change, oh yeah, that'll be the change user, and then the group ID, and then the request for change ID from NearBeach request for change, and it's going to be something like that. I'm just going to copy all of that because sometimes it disappears, or I click on something random. Unknown column, request for change ID, it'll be RFs. NearBeach request for change. I'm not even on that screen. Request for change, open that up, column. So just RFC ID, and this is RFC ID, all right. All right, doing a select. As you see, this will get our data how we want it to. We're gonna jump back over here. We're just gonna scroll down. We are just gonna go SQL equals, we're just going to paste those in like that. That's going to be perfectly fine. Be like that. Insert into everything, yada yada yada. We want to include this. Select now, full request for change. We've got group 1 in there. That should be fine. And then we just copy this, paste this in. And then what we want to do, random int, whatever it was, randint, random randint, 1 to 6. And then we close that off. And then I'm going to be lazy. Instead of writing this in a loop, I know this could... Actually, this should belong in a loop. This should be the group array, group list. Alright. There we go. And then this will be the group number. Alright, cool, easy done. So that's the second value, so that we do the rand, and then we do the group ID. Easy done. And then we type in the group ID. Then we got to commit changes, and then finally, alright, cool. In theory, this should work. So this should now add in every single group that we want against all of them. It's expected something in there, and I didn't put it in correctly. It belonged right there. Was never closed. Execute SQL, open, 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 close, close, and then we need another close. Alright, cool. I didn't like it. SQL. So the random one should be the users first. Insert into change user ID, and then the group ID, and then the range. The request for change. Now, I'm doing that for all the groups. Yep. All right. Cursor. All right. Didn't commit that. Self-read. The field meta object title doesn't have a default. Alright, I hate when this happens. Because now it's going to be like, oh, you didn't have that one in either. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a look on this particular page, see what we've done. We've got a bunch of stuff that we've also added in. I'm going to do the same with this particular thing. So I'm just going to copy that for reference. We're going to go over here. We're going to format this. We're going to go date created. Key that like that. We're doing date modified. Is deleted. Change user ID. Group user ID. Request for change ID. We're bumping that down like that. And then we're going to bump this like this, so everything lines up without breaking too much. Try my hardest. And what I'm going to do, I'm just going to paste that in. We won't need requirement ID because that's for the last one. Group ID, we've already got it. So the meta object title, meta object status, link relationship. Ooh, the link relationship should be just relates, if memory serves me correctly. Oh, it can be empty. Okay, not a problem. Date created, date modified, we've got already. Is deleted, we've got. The change user ID, we've got. So we just need these four to be blank in there. Okay, so we're just going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. And done. So now, if I go back to this RFC and I hit refresh, we should see all groups assigned in here now. There we go. Perfect. a lot of work to do that, I know. The one reason why I'm also doing it in these sort of scripts is I can save it, and then later on, if I want to create something really big to test the limits of NearBeach, like we're talking millions of rows of data, it's not hard for me to do that. And once again, you don't need realish data. Doing this fake data stuff is perfectly fine for that. Alright, so we've just done that. We've added that in. We now need to add in the change tasks. So I'm going to select this one. I'm going to copy it all. We're going to go down here. We're going to do this. We're going to go change task. And then what we're going to do is we're going to click a random key on my keyboard and go somewhere random. We're going to do this. We're going to go RFC ID in RFC count. I think that works. Yes, but we'll need to add a +1 to it. That's fine. So in here, we've got to see what fields we require. So an easy way, how did we do that before? Okay. Oh, sorry. We need to go to change tasks. So going into NearBeach change tasks, we're going to zoom all the way over here. We're just going to select all of these. We're just going to copy it, and very much like before, we're going to lay this all out. So I'm commenting all of this out for the moment. Reason we'll come back to it and we'll edit. I'm working with WordPress at the moment. Is cool. A lot of things come practically ready. So more easy. Yeah. That's a good thing about WordPress. There's a lot of negative. There's always positives and negatives for anything. The one negative I find, and this isn't WordPress related, but this is just industry related, is a lot of times you'll have digital agencies. They'll set up a website in a particular way, and then their client decides to move to another digital agency. So they take the source code with them and go to another digital agency, where that digital agency does something different. So then they shove in what they do onto that site, and then the client moves on to another digital agency, and then someone shoves something in there, and you can end up with some horrible WordPress sites like that. And it's just because people are trying to fit stuff in ways which the website itself wasn't originally designed for. So yeah, otherwise WordPress is great. My profile and blog site is WordPress, and it's great. It does what it needs. I've got code blocks and all that kind of fun stuff in there too. And as you can see, it loads up very fast. There's not a lot of content on the site, but still, that's pretty fast. Yeah. And if you wanted to make your own sort of themes and stuff like that, my recommendation is the Sage WordPress template. So my site, I use this to sort of build up my site. And what this does is, this is like a template sort of thing. It sets up enough of the boilerplate that you can grab it and sort of build your own thing with it. So yeah, highly recommend that. For those on Twitch, there we go. Another thing which you can do, which I find pretty awesome with WordPress, is building your own plugins, which is what I've done before. So I've built in a custom plugin because I didn't want to have to pay for advanced custom fields for a client for this one tiny thing on their site. So what I did was I built my own plugin for them. I need to go back and improve the plugin. I can improve the plugin a lot more. But yeah, this is part of WordPress now. I'm just trying to introduce plugin development. There we go. So this is actually pretty cool. So you can extend WordPress and build your own sort of plugins, which can be used as content blocks on the site itself. So when you're in the Gutenberg editor, you know how you can pick the heading, or you can pick like code blocks, or you can pick columns and stuff like that. You can create a plugin that that will actually work in the Gutenberg editor. Socks, stop, no, excuse me, 2 seconds. Hey, stop it. So yeah, the plugin I created, very, very simple. It was essentially a pricing plugin. So it had the price of the thing, and then the permutations, of the price. So if you had 1 session, 5 sessions, or 10 sessions, it'll have a description of what you were, what the thing was, and all that kind of stuff, and a bit relevant information and a picture and all that kind of fun stuff. So yeah, that was it. It was something very, very simple. You can use advanced custom fields to easily do that. However, in this sort of case, I was like, I'm not making the client pay $50 a year just so this works, whereas I can actually build it. I thought WordPress was close to introducing community plugins. I don't know about community plugins. They do have a plugin sort of ecosystem. So potentially you could build your own plugin. Let's say you build what I just explained there, like a little simple sort of pricing thing to display on the front page. My understanding is you could potentially put that up onto their plugins ecosystem. So yeah, but I could be wrong. I haven't put any of my plugins up on their ecosystem because they're bespoke. They're only for 1 site or 2 sites, and I think robotichead.me doesn't have any. I haven't built any plugins for my site yet. So yeah. All right, getting back with this, I'm gonna copy that. I'm going to go into here. I'm gonna paste those in. We're going to go all the way down here. So we don't need the change task ID. I'm gonna copy that one again because we'll need to do that with the SQL. Actually, no, I'll lay this out and then deal with the SQL. All right, cool. So just doing this very, very quickly. So we'll need yes, 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 yes. Yes, 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 yeah. All right, cool. All of those. So all right, cool. I'm gonna copy those. I'm gonna go down here. I'm just going to paste over those. I'm going to do that. I'm just going to add those in very, very quickly like that. I'm happy with that. We're going to bump that down. All right, so I need to do that for the moment. We can actually set this up. So yes, I'll need to key that one in. Yes, I'll need to key. 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 Oh, change tasks required by. Oh, and we've hit ad breaks again. Alright, welcome back everyone. Well, welcome to the ads. For those on YouTube wondering what's happening, we run ads on Twitch every half an hour to stop the pre-rolled ads, which suck. It only is 90 seconds. And we're pretty much got a minute left now. So yeah, hopefully everyone's going well. I do need to grab myself some water, so I will be right back. I won't be far. Alright, I am back. I've got about 20 seconds left of the ads. So not much. Oh yeah. So I know there's a plugins ecosystem. I've never contributed to it, so I don't know how the community side works and stuff like that. So yeah, that's an empty gap in my knowledge. Alright, and for those on Twitch, you can do... Oh, we're back actually. There we go. That was a quick 20 seconds. For those on Twitch, don't forget to !drop followed by your favorite emoji for the drop. I'm going to do Shock Max. You were serving a user here? Okay. Alright. So, going with this, I've lost where I was with this. So, change tasks. So, change description start and seconds required by. Change task status. That's going to be a 1. We don't need to actually key that in. Downtime. That will be a boolean. Date created, date modified, deleted, change task assign user. Yep, that will be like that. QA user will be like that. Forgetting to do the comments at the end. I've lost where I am again. Oh no. Date created, date modified, deleted, and then I did that, and then I did that, and then I just got to do 3 more. So 1, 2, 3. I think that all lines up. Fingers crossed. So going with that, we can now delete all of that. We can also change that to the change task stuff. So that will be, we'll just copy this. We're just cheating. We're just gonna paste over it like that. Easy done. That gets inserted. We just need to now remove all of this. Once again, we go back up here. We can remove the date created, date modified, and date deleted because we're filling them out manually. There's also one more which change task status is, we've got it as set as a default. Alright, so we've got the change task. That will just be faker.text. That will be up before we fill this out. Hang on, sorry, my bad. We copy all of this. We key it down here. We tab in. We do all that. And then in here now we can do the stuff. So equals faker.text equals faker.text equals, we're just doing the same start date and end date as up here. So I'm just gonna cheat, I'm just gonna copy that. We go back down here somewhere, there we go. We keyed in. Number of seconds. I'm just going to put 0 for all of them. Is required by a human. That's actually just a text field. In fact, you know what? I'm going to do faker.name. Downtime equals random rand int of 0 and 1. This will be random.rand int from 0 to 6. Instead of writing one very long SQL string, keep the column names and placeholders in separate variables. This makes it easier to maintain. This is a once off. Yeah, it won't be. Oops. It won't take me long to do the rest of this. Equals RFC ID plus 1. Alright, we've got a plus 1 because it'll start at 0, but all our stuff starts at 1. Let's see if that runs. Faker is not defined. Oh, what have I called it? Fake, not faker. Alright. Fake. Alright. Oh, you have an error in the SQL syntax testimonial. MySQL server. Need this. Values. Pay compute. Termed others. Marriage at line 18. Did that happen right away? Alright, what I'm going to do, print SQL. I'm just going to put fake name up here. All right. Travel. All right. Code without errors is not code. Yep. Wrap the in a try block, catch the database errors more gracefully. Yeah, that's a good idea. Oh, it's Python. What's the try catch? Try accept, isn't it? Oh, not W3 schools. Oh, I've got to get rid of that link popping up. I'm just wondering if I've screwed up my columns. I'm just going to check my columns first. So all right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Oh, sorry, I meant to count just the S's. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. All right, cool. Now we've got 12 plus 4, which is 16. So we should have 16. Here it is. That's it. No, that's not it. But that would have been a problem. Commas at or the end of all of them, apart from the last one. Yep. Commas at the end of all of them, apart from the last one. Yep. Commas at the end of all of them, but the last one, yep. Cannot add or update child row, foreign key constraint. All right, this is a different one. Foreign key change to where references are auth user. All right, so I'm change user ID. It should be 1, not 1 to 6. Cannot add or update child row, foreign key, constraint, NearBeach, alert constraints, change task, assign, same issue. Just the different areas. All right, I'm getting rid of that print statement. So, creation user, 1 to 6. All of these users are 1 to 6 because the admin starts at 1. So the first user starts at 1. Should be all like that. And there we go. Records inserted. So, NearBeach change task is done now. So this is it. This is it described. So you got the change task ID, you've got a bunch of change tasks within it with details. Now, what does that look like on the front end? If I hit refresh here, we've got a run sheet. This one only has 1. That's because I've done a big boo-boo and screwed up, and I have forgotten to tell it to add in a random between 5 and 25 or 2 or 25 and stuff like that. Not a problem. What we can do is, in this sort of case, we do it like this, and then we're just going to go for underscore in range, and then it's random between, isn't it? Random dot between. No fights. Oh, wait, no. What am I doing? I've been doing it this whole entire time. Random int. So we go down here. For range in random int, we're going to go between 2, and I'm going to say 50. Then we bump everything up. And we just insert everything again. All right, cool. Not a problem. I'm going to hit refresh. Our run sheet now should have a bunch of items in there, which we can test against and stuff like that. So, some of them are downtime scheduled, some of them are not. That's quite awesome. If we click into them, we can actually read the tasks themselves, the description, if there's downtime or not. Yeah, that can actually be changed, but not at the moment. These should all be draft. All right, cool. So we've got everything set in there how we want it to. Okay, sorry, give me a couple of seconds. I'm just thinking. So we've got the change tasks now in there. I'm gonna say that's pretty much it. I don't want to. Oh, we've still got to set up the blocks. But we're not going to overdo it. We just need a couple in there. So if we open up a couple of these, we should then go down. Yeah, this is going to be a bit more complicated. Okay, I've got to add in a manual one. I'm going to call it blocks. This one will start. Yeah, that's going to update all our date times and stuff like that. So I'm just going to copy this. So there's a bunch of rules in here. So we're going to go 21:30. Yep, that's fine. This will be this, and this will be this. I'm going to say that we're going to click on the blocks. And what I'm doing is I'm just adding a bunch of blocks into here. Like so. And what I'll do is, all in the database, I'm going to change these all to that deleted user. For both the, for some of them will be the, some of them will be for the modified, some will be for the created and stuff like that. And we can do that in the back end. So in here, what we got is we have the change task blocks over here. Oh, that's not how we're doing it, is it? Is it part of this now? Yeah, it is. It's part of this now. Meta object title, meta object status. All right, yeah, it is part of this. So for how many did I make? Six of them. I just wanted to go cancel of that. So object assignment. So let's open up 6 and let's actually just manually change these. All right, so in here, what we want to do is it's going to be the change user, and we're switching them to that one. Change user, it's going to be that one. Change user, it's going to be that one, and we don't have a created option in here, which is fine. We're just going to hit save. All right, so that's all done. We should also have a quick look at the change tasks. Some of these will be we have a look. Some will be change user, add like a random one, and creation user. So we'll have a lot of them that will be the deleted user, which will be what we want. So I'm going to state that this particular fixture is now set up. We can actually start solidifying this. So we go into here, we're going to exit out of here. We are going to go Python 3 manage dump data. Format is JSON, indent is going to be 2, and we're going to dump it into the fixtures with the GDPR setup wizard. So there we go. We've just added that data into the GDPR wizard fixture. If we go to sites, we go to NearBeach, we go into our NearBeach, our fixtures. We'll see the GDPR with, oh jeez, this is getting big. The GDPR setup is now 6 megabytes. So that's just the fixtures. That's 6 megabytes of just uncompressed text and so forth like that. Yeah, anyone can actually, I'll show you what this looks like. So if we minimize this, we want to go NearBeach fixtures. Up here, it's just this sort of data. So what actually happens is when we're doing our unit tests, these will actually get loaded into a database, and essentially Django will test against that database certain tests, mainly aimed at the GDPR wizard. All right. Going back into this, I am going to fixtures currently missing data. I'm pretty sure this has customers, unless I was a question. How can I eliminate archives ini? I am not sure. I know an ini is a Windows file. It's a simple plain text configuration file that stores settings for software applications and stuff like that. How can you eliminate archives ini? I'm not sure, sorry. All right, why did I put down customers? When customers does have data, we can actually find customers. They're right here. It's pretty easy. All right, so going with this, I'm going to edit this. I'm going to go, these are all done. So we're gonna cross them out. Document permissions and documents, that will be very easy to sort of fake that data. Because once again, we'll, it's just inserting data into the database very, very quickly. And we're just randomizing the data. The folders will be very easy to do also. And we don't need to do the folders across because it's all in one location and every object pulls from that location. We just need to, we don't need to do too much around that. The notifications, we can do the notifications manually and object notes manually. Because once again, they're a shared sort of resource. We only need a few in there. We can just aim them at projects. Object templates, that's going to be a bit harder. We'll probably do that manually as the user itself. We'll create one as an admin and another without. That's just because object templates will be hard to surrender. Public links, we can easily do that very, very quickly. Public links, yeah. Once again, we'll focus on the projects for that. Requests for change, we've just done. So request for change, that one's done. We can cut that one out. Scheduled object. Oh yeah, that we'll have to do the other sort of stuff. Sprint audit tables. I'll make a couple of sprints. Yeah, if I make a couple of sprints, I don't need to make too many at the moment. Tags, we can put in tags right now. And then we can just suddenly start assigning them willy-nilly. And user jobs. Yeah, all right, cool. Yeah. Just wondering what will be, let's do tags next, because I think tags will be very, very quick and easy. We can get that done within a couple of minutes. So going over here, what we want to do is let's have a look for tags. We'll just go back into the NearBeach. We'll go tag, easy done. This is NearBeach tags. As you see, there's not much in here. We will just need random text color. Does Faker do hex? Python Faker hex. Yep, cool, done. We won't worry too much about that. I actually just want to see what this comes out as. Let's just copy that. Let's actually go back into this. Let's go down here. Let's just paste it in. I don't want the hue red. I kind of want. Oops, I went up. You know, I forgot to. I'm so used to doing Vim stuff. There we go. Yeah, perfect. That's fine. That's what we want. All right, cool. So we can get this one done very, very quickly. Once again, we'll just copy this. We will paste it down here. We'll strip it down. So we won't need this. We'll need tag count in here. We'll just have up here tag count. We'll also do 100. It's going to look ridiculous for a reason. We won't need that at all. We'll probably won't need any of those. We'll won't need much of that. We won't need much of that, and we won't need much of that. And then, all right, cool. So going back into here, we want to just grab all of that. Easy done. Go back into here. We're just gonna is deleted. We won't need. We've got the change user. We've got the date folder. All right, cool, cool, cool. We're gonna copy that. We're gonna paste that into here. We're going to do this. We're going to do this. We're going to, oops, do this. Shoot, we need the is deleted. There you go. So we'll have how many of those? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And is deleted will be 0. We won't have any deleted in this particular test. And then we just copy those. And yeah, all right, cool. So we just need fake.name here. It doesn't need to be as long as everywhere else. Fake.color. I've got to double check that again. Sorry, with the documentations, it has a U. No, it doesn't have a U. Why did I think I don't know why I saw a U then. I'm just going crazy. All right, we're grabbing the dates. Change user ID, that's going to be random, rand int, that's going to be 1 to 6 once again, easy done. The tag text color is going to be fake.color. All right, now that should just, forgot a comma, yeah, I did. Tag count is not defined. You are 100% correct because I've got to redo this up here. So I'm just going to scroll all the way down. I'm going to click on this unknown column tag name in field list. That's because I didn't actually update the table. Cute. I just did it back to change task. No problem. No problem. I'm All right, sweet. So if we actually go to the front end, we click on the find objects, list tags. We've got hundreds of tags now. All right, there's a lot of tags here. Great, sweet. Now we've got to start assigning them to a bunch of objects using the different users and so forth like that. So easy done. We can do that very, very quickly. We've been doing that all night. So what I'm going to do, once again, I'm just going to copy this, because we can just reuse it down here. We can connect to it. In this sort of case, I've got to have a look at the tag assignment stuff. I'm going to close that and only have one tab open. So I'm going to go NearBeach. I'm going to go tag. So we've got tag assignment in here. So we'll have tag assignment ID, object enum. Object ID. We're just going to do this against projects for the moment. And I'm just having a think. We want to randomize this How many projects do I actually have? Because we want to go through all the projects, and then we want to add in. Oh, we've got an ad break. All right, cool. So I don't want to add in just one tag to one project. I want to be like, all right, maybe a couple. So how do I want to do this? I want to go in. I know I've done somewhere else. I want to loop through all the projects. I then want to do a random int. Yep, that's it, random int, and then insert. And it doesn't matter if I accidentally insert one to the same tag. It'll be fine. Theoretically, if that actually does happen, the tag only appears once on the front end anyway because it's duplicated, deduplicated. Sorry, through the RRM process. All right, cool. That can be done. We've got about 10 seconds left. Oh, nearly got myself again. All right. 2, 1. Welcome back, everyone. All right, let's get back into it. So what we're actually doing is we're gonna grab all of these. We're gonna go back down here. Once again, we're going to sort of delete these. We're gonna paste them in at the moment. We're definitely gonna paste them, in here. We'll come back to those ones there. So we'll have object enum. Press the wrong button. All right, so we're gonna add in a, what is the project count? How many projects are there? $200. All right, easy done. We've got 200 and we're gonna add them all. So we've got 200 and then what we wanna do for nothing, actually we need project ID coming through. For nothing in range random.randint, let's go from 5 to 50, let's do something ridiculous. 5 to 50 tags, okay, that's ridiculous. So we've got all that. We are going to bump that up to there. We've got the object enum. We know what the object enum is going to be. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do all of that. So we won't need the object enum. We'll know what the date modified is. It's just going to be this date. It's fine. It's been inserted in hundreds of times. We need to insert all of that. So is deleted is going to be 0. That's fine. We won't need to pass that through. Object ID. That's going to be the project ID, so we'll get rid of that there. We won't need to declare it there. Date created, that'll be the same as that. That will be that, and the tag will be a random int between that and 100. He's done. So the object enum, that's going to be a project. And then that's going to be the ID coming through. So the project ID, the date created. Oops, I hit the wrong one. I'm just going to copy this. This is easy. Date created, date modified, is deleted. Change user ID and tag ID. And then what we want to do down here is we want to go project ID. We want to go date created, date modified, Change user ID. We could have actually made those just now, and then tag ID. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, that should be all of that. Now this is going to get inserted not into that particular table, but we want it into. So this is where I've got to do a bunch of this. Tag assignment. We're just going to copy that very, very quickly. We're going to go over here. We're going to hit that. We're going to hit play. At line 17, I've done something. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Have I? You have an error. You're right near the closing bracket. Yes, extra comma. Done. All right, so if we actually go and find all objects, let's actually find not a task, but a project itself. Let's scroll down. Let's go into MISC. We've got our ridiculous amount of tags in there. All right, this is perfect. So I'm now happy with this. This is getting somewhere. So we've now done this. So we can do that. User jobs. I believe we can do that very, very quickly. And we can do that manually. So if we open up the My Planner, we add in an object, we go, let's say a Kanban card for today. Oh, there's none. Let's say a project. Let's pick a couple of projects. Save changes, spread them out like that. That puts stuff in that particular table. We now need to log in as that particular user. I'm going to open up another container. I'm just going to go right-hand click. Oh, all right. Let's go random deleted user. Oh, now I should be able to log in. Yeah, they've got permissions. Reset password. All right. Have I got the username wrong? I'll delete user. All right, cool. Sorry about the bright lights and all that kind of stuff. What I want to do is quickly add this in. Let's go a couple of tasks. Oh, no tasks. Oh, no projects. Now I've got to assign the users stuff. All right. That's fine. I can do this very, very quickly. So under this, what I want to do, let's find all objects. Let's scroll down. This should have QA team and no users. Perfect. We don't have the deleted user in here. What I'll need to do is I'll need to go through all the projects that the user can access and add them to it. Or a random set of them. But not a problem. Alright, let's search again. Boom, there we go. What I'll do is I'll add this on for a couple of days. There we go. So that should be the user table. We could inflate this a little bit more, but the idea being is these will now disappear from this particular table. So that should be the user jobs table, and I'll double check that now. Where's my backend? I am just going to duplicate. Let's go into admin. User jobs. And yeah, there's our user jobs. And this just tells the user what they're doing and so forth like that. It's pretty simple. All right, so user jobs is done. Sprint, we'll need to create a couple of sprints. But that's pretty easy to do. What we'll do is we find all objects. We'll actually go into here. We'll go sprints. We'll create a sprint very quickly. There's us creating a sprint. And now we're just going to, I'm going to just add a couple of requirement items. All right, that is a bug. Oh, can a deprivileged user not do it? All right, hang on. Let's, because that would be a critical bug. All right. That's what I was afraid of before. All right, give me a couple of seconds. Let's check all this. Let's go into here. So we have some inline code in here to do what we wanted it to do. So it creates a temp table, it inserts stuff, and it does a bunch of stuff to it. This does not work. All right, cool. I'm going to put that as a critical bug. Sprints won't work on MySQL. Function contains inline SQL, which I don't like doing. So when I tried doing this as with RRM, it just wasn't wanting to do it. So I'm going to have to look at the original functionality and be like, all right, cool. Is this something which I have to get the data, process the data, put it in a particular shape, and then send it to the user? Which is not ideal, but a plausible thing to do. Function contains inline SQL. This SQL does not function on MySQL. We'll need to see how we can modify this back to Django RM. There was a reason why we did this. So yeah, this is a showstopper. It is of a bug. It is submitted. It is assigned to me. It is part of the sprints. This is definitely going to be fixed in the next version. So yeah, that's a critical bug. So we have a temp table. We select everything from projects, we select everything from tasks, and we select everything from, yeah, we union them together. All right, and we couldn't do that with a query set because the query, yeah, now I kind of remember. And I think if I get them out of a query set into something else, it should be fine. Famous last words. All right. I'm gonna have to do some code SQL reading and stuff like that. Oh, sorry, didn't mean that. You're like, oh my god, no. Sorry, here we go. You're getting rubbed the bellies. All right. Yeah, and I wanted to test on a database, other databases. I actually have a ticket telling me I've got to test on other databases like the Oracle database, any of the Django supported databases. And the reason being is we've got to shake out any of these issues. And I can do that on the NAS now. I can set up these databases on the NAS. That way I can test on multiple so I don't need to test on one machine, I can test on multiple, and I just point the code to that database. Alright, so this is going to be a problem, but it's now in the system. We've got that in the system. We can't do any of the sprint stuff. The scheduled objects, I'm going to get admin to make one, and I'm going to get the deleted user to make one. So with the scheduled objects, we're going to create a new one. We're going to say it's a project. Once again, it doesn't really matter which one's which. We're going to delete the data, make sure it doesn't cascade onto this, and delete this data too. So admin created project, admin created project. The reason why I'm not doing this in Faker and stuff like that is a lot of this setup will it involves, so this stuff down here will involve, I think, a bit of it's the template section that involves the JSON sort of stuff, not the scheduler frequency, if memory serves me correctly. It's been a while. It has been a while. But the idea being is anything that the database needs to filter very quickly for, it will be in the database. Everything else that is like template driven, that's not needed for the database until it needs to, yeah. All right, create scheduled object. Done. And then in here, we'll go scheduled object. This user's fine. Let's new scheduled object. Let's go task, deleted users scheduled object. Deleted user scheduled object. Easy done. We're just going to pick other sort of things in here. It doesn't really matter. We don't need really permutations with any of this. Having two of those items are perfectly fine in there. We will one day, once again, we'll pack this out. So we'll test if there's like hundreds in here, if the search functionality works, the pagination works, and all that kind of stuff. So we've still got to pack this out, but not now, not today. We'll also create it so there are different permutations in here. All right, so that one's done, that one's done. Go back into here. Schedule object is done. The public links. So if memory serves me correctly, that's a simple table. So whether it's activated, date created, date modified, deleted, create user, delete, Kanban board, Kanban card, project. Yeah, oh yeah, this connects to everything like that. We have it like that. All right. Give me a couple of seconds. I'm just having a quick think. All right. These particular tables I could do a little bit better. I could actually put them in like a meta format. All right. Now we just want to create it for the projects. Yep, that'll be pretty easy. All right, cool. Let's go over here. We'll do this one just against the projects. So we'll paste that in there. We'll go through the projects. We won't need to do a random number like that. That's pretty stock standard. We'll go into here. We'll just copy all those. We'll go back into here. I'm just going to paste that in like that. So going back over here, public link active. That's So public that will need date created, date modified, is deleted, change user ID, creation user ID. We won't need any of that. We won't need any of that. So that is all we need. We'll put that into there like that. We'll bump that up like that. And then the other thing is down here, we'll just delete all that. Active, that's going to be 1. Date created, I'm going to just cheat and use these from now on. It's just going to be 10 times simpler just to keep it like that. So date created, date modified, is deleted. And then this will be definitely a random field. This will be a random field. This will be a random field. And that's about it. So we've got 7 fields. 7 fields. All right, cool. Up here, we won't need that anymore. We'll still need the change user. We won't need that anymore. We won't need that, won't need that, won't need that, won't need that. The change user ID we've got. The creation user will need to set, which will be just this. And then it will be the project ID, which we'll do like something like that. So down here, going from top to bottom, what we've got is the change user ID, and then we've got the creation user ID, and then we've got the project ID, like that. And we've broken something because I haven't connected it to the right table. I need to actually do that. I always do something wrong. Do values at line 9. Oh. All right, it didn't like that. All right, not a problem. Not a problem. Doesn't need to be a set date. It could be right this second. Now it's having a problem. Have I forgotten something? So public link activated, yes. Date created, date modified, yes, yes. End, deleted, end, deleted, yep. And then 3 variables. All right. At line 9. Hey, buddy. Aww. Line 9. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Always the comma at the end of everything else. Field public link ID doesn't have a default value. All right. Now this is where I go Python GUI. Cause yeah, we'll need something like that, but as a string. I'll need to import that. Let's import that, public link ID, and then we're just going to go and play around in our shell for a second. So we're going to go Python 3 manage shell. We're just going to go import UID. Oh, UUID, sorry. UID.UID. Oh, I can't remember all these commands. I'm terrible at that. UID, all right, and then something like that. Does something like that. So if I go A equals that, and then go A dot, or string A, there you go, string A. If I go string UID.UID4, that works perfectly. All right, cool. Copy. Go back over here. I'm just going to paste that in very, very quickly like that. I'm just going to go like that. Ah, you tweet. Blah. Oh my god. There you go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, alright. Date too long for column public link ID. What the? Alright, let's have a look. Yeah, I'm not inserting that. I thought they wanted, Alright, so the link ID. Alright, I'm having a look over here. I'm just going to create one very, very quickly. So what we can do is we can go into here, back to object. Oh, that's a scheduled object. In here, no. Could go misc. Can create a public link, so it'll appear in here. There it is. There. We've stripped it from all the hyphens and stuff like that. All right. That's what we want. All right, cool. So going back into here, we want to just paste that in. We just need to, oh, piss. What do you need now? I'm going to do project ID +1. There you go. Alright, so if we now have a look at the database, if I hit browse again, we've got like hundreds in here, which is great, and they're all active. If we actually go into the back end, let's go find object, list all objects, let's scroll all the way down to the projects, let's just open up a random one. We go down, we go into the MISC, we'll see each one of them has a private link. Now, the system's created so that you can actually create multiple private links. The reason being is if you need to send this out to multiple different people and want to actually have that sort of control, being like, all right, cool, I want to disable this link against the person after a certain time, but not for these people, you can do that. That's why I'm allowing this to happen in this system. So, public links should be done. And that should have been, yep, created by multiple different users and all that kind of stuff. Object templates and all that kind of stuff. All right, yeah, I'm gonna leave it, this bug, I'm gonna leave it there for the moment. I'm gonna write a note saying I've updated the fixture for multiple of these items. We don't have much left. So I need to fix the sprint stuff, and I'll do the sprint stuff. We can actually do that tonight if we're going to do the sprints manually. However, in the future, I do want to, once again, expand the sprints out and actually have quite a lot of them. We'll end up probably making a bunch of sprints for all the projects and inserting random tasks. For the object templates, I think Object templates are already done. Object notes we can do very, very quickly. And we've just reached another ad break. I'm just seeing what else I can do very, very quickly. Get, 90% of the way there. Now I'm just exiting out of this. I'm going to go Python 3, manage, dump data, format, JSON, indent to, we're going to put that into our, yep, all right. So I'll just say the fixture. The fixture is now at 7.7 megabytes, so it's getting quite large. So we'll see how large it can get. How are we with that? Ads, we're about 45 seconds off. I'm just double checking object templates now in the back end. Give me a couple of seconds. Duplicate tab. Let's go into the admin. Object templates. I think we've done that one now because we did the other one. So I'm just going to edit that one. Object templates. Done. And then we've got the notes, notifications. The notifications we can do, we do one of each and that will be done. Object notes, we can put in, for the moment, we can put in a couple, we can put in a lot for object notes. And welcome back. So we're going to do object notes. It's going to be quick, a famous last word. It's going to be quick and easy. So we're just going to copy this. We're just going to paste it down here. So we won't need to import that again. We've got all of that. I'm just going to go into the database. I'm just going to go up here. I'm going to type in notes. So object note. We'll copy that, go into here, we'll just paste them in like that. We're just going to do that. Now, we won't need any of those. We're once again focusing on project. So object note, date created, date modified is deleted. Did I delete the create user? No. All right, cool. No problem. All right, going back into here, what we want to do is we just copy that and we just paste that in. We are going to get rid of all of that. The object note will need something for the date created. Now. Deleted, no. Change user ID, yes, we'll need something in there. And the project ID. So going into here, we now need to just delete all of that. So we'll need the object note. We'll need the change user ID, and we'll need the project ID. And that's like that. And Yuvi, how are you going? I am just I'm using Faker to insert a lot of data into NearBeach. And yeah, that's what's up. Now, we're going to go for underscore in range, and we're going to probably do random dot rand int. We're going to do probably between 1 and... Actually, let's go 2. And let's go 50 with the notes. All right, we're going crazy with the notes. All right, cool. So object note will equal fake dot text. Easy done. Date created we won't need. The change user ID will be random dot rand int, and it's going to be 1 to 6. And the project ID is going to be project ID, which we won't need to actually redeclare there. That's a bit silly doing that. So we're going to do it like that. Yeah. It's been somewhat successful, except when I do something like that. So randint. No, random randint. Did I type something wrong? I typed something wrong. Alright. Alright. And I keep doing this. I see what I've done wrong. Every single time I muck up the columns. Every single time I muck them up. Unknown field, object node. And I keep forgetting to copy the freaking table name over. Alright, cool. I'm just rushing into things, you know, going crazy. Cannot update or add child foreign key, NearBeach object, object node project ID, foreign key reference. Oh yes, I need to do +1 to the project ID. And done. So yeah, we get there eventually. We make a lot of mistakes along the way and we program in the bugs. So if I actually refresh this one page now and I hit the notes tab, we should see between 2 and 50 notes in here. And it'll be a bunch of different users in here too, which is good. So yeah, that will also be good for... Yeah, I've got to fix this up. Yeah. Oh, sorry, a bit of a yawn. So, going back into here, what we want to do is we want to object nodes. We're gonna do that. Now, notifications. Wait, we're getting there. We're getting there with this. Notifications. I'm just wondering if we want to actually create that many. I think having 2 notifications would be good. The one reason being is... what would be the reason? In reality, you would delete the notifications. So you would have a notification up for a certain period of time and then you delete it after that time. I'm going to say let's have 2 notifications. So, jumping back into here, administrator, we're going to go search notifications. We're just going to add a new notification. We're going to have notification name, backup. Oh, no, let's not do something. Let's do pat socks. Socks requires some patting at the moment. Yeah, we're just leaving it like that. That'll be perfectly fine. Now, this particular user, the delete user, can't actually do that. So we're going to replicate that again and just update in the database who actually made those changes. So we're going to go back to the notifications. Where am I? Search notifications. Cuddle Patty. Patty the void cat wants some pats. He does love pats. He really does love his pats. I'm just going to do that. I'm going to jump into this. I'm just going to go, all right, cool. Notifications. We're just going to click on that. We're just going to change one of them. So the change user, we're going to put as the deleted user. I don't think we've got a created user. No, we don't. So, but that's all we need to do. And then when we delete that user should be updated so that way that object doesn't get deleted through cascading. So we won't worry about those at the moment, but we're nearly done with this. I reckon give it not that much longer and we will have this done. And then next stream I can start writing the unit tests and finishing up the fixture. So one thing is, if the user's name is throughout the documentation and stuff like that, we'll highlight it to be changed. I will be implementing something that users will be able to skip it. So they'll review all the data that particular user is assigned to, because the likelihood of their name being in something which is not assigned to them or has never been assigned to them, yeah, very low. Yes. All right. Sorry, just having a bit of a think. All right. Sorry about that big yawn. So what do I want to do in here? I wanted to... We can do the sprints also tonight, but I'm going to work around that by actually bringing the fixture into SQLite, doing it there, and then dumping the data again. That's going to be the easiest sort of way. But for the documents, I'm going to upload a particular document first. So we're just going to go in, let's just find any object. Let's, boom, project, boom. Let's scroll all the way down, document. All right, add. Let's upload a document. Yeah, calculator. All right, cool. Let's upload a link. Easy done. And let's upload a folder. Once again, easy done. So I've uploaded those to show you guys what that looks like in the back end. So if we go into the NearBeach, what we want to do is let's look at folders first, because they're pretty easy. Sorry, sucks. I need my mouse. Thank you. It's literally just a folder, date created, and it's just change user ID. And we'll be assigning them to the projects and stuff like that. So, yeah, pretty simple stuff. I don't know why I can do that. Before I was able to select all of these. All right, yep, I get it. Extra options. I'm just gonna. Do that. And now I can do that. All right. Thank you, Mohammed. All right. So, going back into here, we'll deal with the folders first. And, all right, so we're going to go through the projects, random int, all of that kind of stuff. It's going to be very, very similar to that. We'll just copy that over here. We'll just do it like that for the moment. We'll go back home. All right, we won't need any of these objects, so task requirement, project, no. I'm not going to worry about parent folders at all. I'm going to keep it as simple as possible. I do believe we've got to set the parent folder. No, I don't think we do. Famous last words. We don't need to worry about those. We need to worry about the change user ID is deleted, date modified, date created, folder description. So I am going to copy those and I'm just going to put them in here like that. And because we're super lazy now, we're just going to do something like this. So the first one will be folder description. Yes, date created. Folder description, date created, date modified is deleted, change user ID, parent folder is going to be nothing. I'm trying to remember. I think it's that. And the project ID. So if we go down, we'll have the object note. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to go fake.name. We're just going to put a name in there. And then the next one is the change user ID, easy done, and then the project ID. Now, we're not going to do up to 50. We'll probably do either 1 to a maximum of 3 folders. per project. And we've got to copy the bloody profit table name in now. All right, where's that table name? I'm going to also delete all of this. I can delete this too. Oh, easy done. So we now need to do the commas because I keep forgetting the commas and I keep doing the commas wrong and I keep getting issues. We do all that, we do all that, we do that. All right, cool. Will it work? Won't it work? Who knows? It won't not work. Parent folder. All right, cool. Guess what? I'm just getting rid of that. Done. All right, easy. So all of those folders should now be created. If we hit reload and we go into the documents, you'll notice that there's like 2 random folders in there. That's pretty easy to do. Now the next step we're going to want to do is we want to create the uploaded items and the document permissions too. So how this works is, oops, I went to the wrong one. Click on NearBeach, database NearBeach. Yep, that gets me there. All right, cool. So I believe we've got to create the document first. And once the document is created, we then assign that permission. And that permission is usually something pretty simple. We've got a document key ID too. Oh, all right. All right. It's been a while since I've had this, designed this, so let's go through it. So first step is, let's go back into NearBeach. Let's go into documents. All right, cool. NearBeach document in here. We've got the file path. We're going to do links to, which are going to be pretty easy. So we'll just need document description, document, date created, date modified, deleted, change user, document uploaded successfully, and is purged. So we'll create the items for this first. Then we can create the permissions, and the permissions will be pretty easy. I'm just wondering how many of these we could create. We're not going to put them under any of the folders. That is something that we can easily do. And the idea with the original document system is that one document could be shared over multiple different places. So, however, that being said, we never really implemented that all the way through. And that's why this is split up into 2 different tables. You've got the permissions table and this table. All right, so let's get into it. Let's just go over here. Did we end up copying that thing? I don't know. I'm just going to copy it again. It's not going to be a problem. We'll just add it in here. So we get the connection, go all the way through. We're going to not do a project ID with this particular one. We don't need to do it randomly either. We are quite literally just going to go and create probably 1,000 documents. It's going to be that easy. So, going back over here, what I want to do, NearBeach document. I'm just going to go over here. We're going to update this. So we're going to insert into there. We want document description. I'm just going to put this over here. The reason being is I can reference it pretty quickly. I'm just going to move that there. So we'll have document description. Document URL location will be blank, and then we'll have documents, which I'm just going to put in with some fake data. We'll have date created, date modified, is deleted, change user ID, and we won't have the project ID. We will need document upload successfully and is purged. This now changes, so that goes like that, and then the document itself, what I'm going to do with the document is I'm just, actually, you know what, it is going to be a random name in there, and then we've got date created, date modified, deleted, change user ID, document updated successfully. That will be a 1 and a 0. So I've put all of that like that. All right, cool. Now I've just got to do this correctly. So we'll have fake name with the document description, and then the document itself, I do want that to be, so we're going to go document equals, and we're going to do string interpolation, whatever it's called again, I keep forgetting. We're going to set this up so it'll be a bit random. So private, and then we just do something like this, and we get the, actually this is where we need to import the UIDs. So import UID, and then we go string UID.UID for, close that, and then we don't want to replace any of that. We just want to turn it into a string, and then we just want to go and say fake.name dot replace any spaces with nothing, and then dot png. All right, easy done. So that's going to be the document. So that's going to be the second one in there. That's going to be document. Then we've got the change user ID, and we won't have that anymore. Unknown update. I have update document upload. Really? Document upload successfully. Document key doesn't have a default value. Oh no. Document key. That's easy done. So document key, we're just going to go, sure, you get a document key. And we're just going to go string UID for, and then replace anything with a hyphen with nothing. Document URL doesn't have a default value. Okay, excuse my French. That will be after document description. And that would be, so we've got the key, we've got the description, and then we've got nothing. Unknown column, document URL in the field list. Hang on, what have I done? Document URL location. I can never get this first shot, never. And what we're going to do is we're going to do the exact same thing for the links. That was 1 to 1,000, easy done. We're going to do that with the links too. So now, instead of having a document itself, we're going to have a document URL. So that one is going to be that, and then that one's going to be that. And then down here, we've got fake.url. Okay, cool. So now we've got 2,000 items in there that we now need to link to projects. So that's going to be pretty easy to do. what we want to do is, once again, we'll just copy this, because we'll go through and we'll do it up to 2000. We'll go through and figure this out. So what we want is document permissions now. All right, that's not what I wanted. I wanted I thought there was a schema thing before. Oh, it doesn't matter. I'm wasting too much time. All right, cool. Going into this, what we're going to do straight away, let's update the table. Boom, easy done. Let's also just delete all of this and go date created, date modified, is deleted. A lot of these fields are the same across all the stuff. Oh, is it really done that already? Oh, I've got to stop soon. Is deleted. We've got the change user ID. Then we got we won't need, and then we'll need the document key ID. Ooh. Oh, I'm going to need that list. Oh no. And then we just need project ID. And I'm pretty sure that's it. And then what I want to do is document ID in, and then document ID. Sorry, list documents. Okay, we can get rid of some of that. So, setting this up, we now have date created. We're just doing now. We have date modified now. We have is deleted 0. Change user ID is going to be random.rand int 126 easy. Document key ID, that is going to be the one input that we're going to have. Oh, change user ID. Sorry, it's meant to be like that. Sorry, document key ID and then the project ID. Oh, that's also going to be a random project too. So we've got that. So we've got to go through every single one of the documents. We've got to get the key from the document and put it in here and go cycle through. So setting this up, what we want to do now is we want to go date created is now deleted. We've got the change user ID, which will be random.rand int 1 to 6. The next one will be the document key ID. That will be the document ID. And then we've got the project ID, which will be random.rand int, I think 1 to 200 is what we've got. I've just got to get the list of documents declared. So what I'm going to do is I am going to go all the way up to the top. We are going to close that. We are going to add a block at the bottom. We're going to go like this, equals, like that, and we're going to do something sneaky. So in SQL, I can actually do, I'm just going to bring the screen back over, and we're just going to do that. In SQL, I can just edit inline. So we actually just want the NearBeach document, like so. If I go there, everything's fine. We've got all the document. I want this document key, but I want it in a particular way. So I'm going to edit this. I'm going to go concat, and then it is 1, 2, 3, 4 document key 1, 2, 3, comma 4. And I'm just going to hit go. And we're going to show 500. Because I can't show any more than that. And we're in an ad break. Alright, cool. Shouldn't be too long with this. I'm just going to copy that. Actually, I can do an export. Custom. I just want CSV, dump all rows, export, downloads. For those on YouTube, I run ads on Twitch every half an hour so people don't get pre-rolled ads. I have no choice with the ads anyway, so it's either that or people get pre-rolled ads, which suck. Yeah, we tend to do nothing. No one misses out on anything when you're doing this, unless it's really boring, like what I'm doing right now, which is open with a text editor. All right, we've about 18 seconds worth of the ads. Oh, yeah, ads left. Oh, it's added the freaking double quotes. All right. Find and replace. Where are you now? All right, welcome back everyone. So what I did was a simple SQL query. It does this, but sadly it's put everything in double quotes and I hate that. So I just need to find and replace with nothing, replace all. There we go. We shouldn't have any data we don't want. I'm just going to copy all of that. We're going to go back into our this. We're going to paste it in, and we're just going to run this one query. That just puts all the data in there, and we're happy with that. Then I want to scroll all the way back down. So with this, we've got the list document. It's going to go through every single document and then assign it, hopefully, if I got this right. Here's profile picture. Always one. I'm going to go 0. Is purged. Sorry, sometimes we just got to go through all of these. Sadly, there is no quick way. Done. All right, cool. Sadly, there's no quick way of doing that. So we've got 1,000 items. The likelihood of this actually having more items is there. There we go. Cool. So yeah, we've got a bunch of links and we've got a bunch of that, and they should all be created by different users and so forth like that. So we've now got the folders, documents, and permissions all done. We've just got to do, we've just got to do the sprints stuff now. But before I do that, let's actually save the fixture. So we're going to go Python 3 manage dump data. We want the format to be JSON, indent to be 2, into the folder NearBeach fixtures GDPR wizard. I put dump date. No, dump data. Done. All right, easy. So that's now there. We're actually quite happy with that. It's 12 megabytes. So it's a lot of data to work with, but this will also double up with us actually testing out what happens with NearBeach with a lot of data in there, especially around the UI, in which case we want to sort of be like, all right, cool, with a couple of items it's fine, but when you get many, you need to actually start implementing fixes, so forth like that. So what we've got now is that is there. I just want to go git status. So I want to do a Python manage test. I want to make sure none of my unit tests are breaking. Error creating access denied at test. NearBeach at that to test database. Okay, not a problem. So I'm happy with this. I'm going to git add NearBeach fixtures, that to the code. I want to git check out the local settings. So we've done that now. So I'm just going to stop this. I'm going to remove the local database. I'm going to go Python 3 manage migrate to the local database. So this is actually creating the DB SQLite. And then what I want to do, Python 3 manage load data, and we're going to load in that fixture stuff. So that's happening right now. There you go, all the fixture stuff in there. I'm going to close that. We're going to actually tackle that next time. I want to do a Python 3 manage test. So this probably will be slowing down these tests a little bit because there's 12 megabytes worth of data for some of these tests. But that's fine. Yeah. All right, easy done. That is all done. We're all happy with that. So now that that is done, what we want to do is we want to do the sprints. So I'm going to go back here. We should still, we need to restart the server. All right, cool, easy done. Restart it. It takes a couple of seconds. There we go. What we want to do is I want to create a sprint. We've got a sprint. We've added stuff to the sprint. Okay, so it might not be as broken as I think. Okay, that's good. So the sprint audit tables. What are the sprint audit tables? So we've declared it. We've added it in. So there's the user job. Sprint audit table. I probably just don't use it any. Usages too. Oh, all right. I don't think I use it. I think at one particular point I was going to use it. If we have a look at the class, let's see what it is. So we've got the sprint audit table ID. We've got the sprint ID. We've got the story point cost, the higher order cost. So sprints are a new functionality within NearBeach, so I can't blame the old code for this. I've definitely created this at one particular point and I've forgotten why. And nothing's calling it in the code. So it could be a dead class. In which case, if it is a dead class, we should get rid of it. Alright, so let's not worry about the sprint audit tables. Let's scratch them off and in brackets not used. The sprint object assignments. Let's have a look in here. So we do have a couple of object assignments in here. We've got the deleted user and all of that kind of stuff. That's awesome. So yep, I'm happy with that. That one's done. And then with the sprints themselves, deleted user. All right, cool. So everything's done. So this fixture is ready for unit tests. So this will be ready for retesting. This has definitely been fixed in this particular version. Alright, so we won't be able to fix that SQL query in line 1, which is really annoying. I just dropped the pen again. Alright, let's go into here. Let's actually, it's the end of the night, I'm winding down. I'm gonna, it's 10 minutes to 10 to 10. I'm going to, raid someone in a minute. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna have a look at the bug list and be like, all right, next stream, we're focusing on these particular issues. So, one of them is that. Now, the other thing is the partial 2FA fails to disable. Let's actually have a quick look at that because I might have set up an application to do that already. Let's have a look. There we go. Let's go into sites. I've got 2FA testing and I've got my project in there. I mean, this might have, I might have had it set up in there. I might have had it set up and stuff like that. I need to double check that because I need to sort of determine if it's my bug and I need to fix it, or if it's actually an issue with the library and they've already got a workaround, or they don't know about it and we need to fix it. All right. It's most likely my bug, so let's not lie. So I want to also do that. That one is definitely a major one. Customer pagination needs to be applied to associated objects. All right, what's actually happening here is if we go a list of customers, let's pick up this one. This list can get really, really long. The idea being is we do want to group it. We want projects, we want tasks and all that kind of stuff in here. So you can be like, oh, okay, I'm at this particular user. Here are their current opened tasks and projects. But having a pagination in here needs to be done. We will be moving this to the API. And it's like one of those things, I've got to draw a line in the sand somewhere. Being like, all right, cool, I don't want to do this and then have to redo it when we go to the API. I'd rather just redo it when we go to the API. But in this sort of case, it does need it. I'm just wondering if I could do it in the next couple of streams. Probably not. I'll move this up to 97. Large titles, press up against the checkbox. Oh yeah. I feel like these bugs up here need to be done. GDPR wizard, remove user on the dot. Oh yeah, we'll be fixing that. Read-only users can edit / play around with. All right, cool. That can be moved on. Organization information, validation text not showing on organization email. Oh yeah, that can be moved on. That's pretty simple. Search Kanban results. That can be moved on. Edit only users can't remove. That needs to be done. Yeah. All right. If I move that onto there, so that means I've moved 7 onto that particular version, and I think I can get 3 or 4 of those done in a stream, and then I'll move the rest on, and so forth like that. We're down to 4 for the next release, which is nice. Now that we've got the GDPR stuff wizard done. That is done. I can fix those other issues. I can start writing the unit tests, and then I can finally release this GDPR wizard once I fix all the bugs in it too. So it won't be officially released until a little later. And then we've got partially set up 2FA fails to disable. Yeah, we've got to look into that. That's... Yeah. Anyway, that's pretty much it for tonight. Let's go find someone to raid. I'm actually going to do this up here. Alright. We have... Alright, give me a couple of seconds. Just gotta make sure that... Oh yeah, it's English. Alright, I have done that before, where I've raided someone and they didn't speak any English. It is a thing I've done multiple times. All right, we're gonna raid this this person. I don't know who they are. We'll give them a follow. But yep, there we go. I am going to turn off the music. I am definitely going to start looking at the other stuff. So hopefully next time I will have different music. But yes, thank you very much everyone for coming tonight. It has been wonderful. I do hope you enjoy the next stream, and I do hope to see you guys next week. So yeah, thank you very much and have fun. And for those on YouTube, thank you very much for being here. Sadly, you won't be able to join us with the raid, but don't forget to like and subscribe. It does actually help the channel. So yeah, thank you.